Okay, I think I will wrap up on this though. Then, so the whole thing is about how we live in this world. Oh, I know one thing I was thinking about, and that was I said it in the earlier video that wasn't taped, and it was like we don't take responsibility for our life. Then, no, that's different, isn't it? You have to be in the world. You have to be responsible for your life. That's a biggie. That's a biggie. In reality, in present moment awareness, being who you are, you take no responsibility at all. It shows itself up to you. It just shows up to you. It's like that quote, I won't quote it, but by Kafka when he said that, he says something like, just sit, don't even sit, wait, don't even wait, don't say, be silent, don't be still, or something like even that. It's like the world will move towards you like a rolling blade. I can't remember, but like it will move and roll in ecstasy at your feet. It has no choice. It has no choice. Yeah, that is true. That is true. You have one responsibility, just one. The best way I've heard it spoken was by Einstein. I love the way he said it. He said. I think I can get it pretty clear, but I might paraphrase a little bit. He said something like, "There is only one important decision to make. Only one important decision to make, and that is whether or not you are living in a friendly or hostile universe." That's where all this leads. All these videos and stuff like that. It's like, it's a switch. It's like a friendly universe, and we're talking about a universe that carries you into it, and the responsibility is done. Done, friends. Completely done. Because what is before you, everything about it, is so much richer and fuller than any decision you could ever limit yourself to. It's so much fuller. It isn't like you're forced to not be responsible. It's like you're like a child again, going like, why would I want anything less than this? That's what Einstein was talking about. And that's why Rumi says, sell your certainty and buy bewilderment. Why? Because let go of it. Let go and see what happens. Even in the gospel according to Thomas, which isn't a recognized canon, but it was penned and collected at the same time all the other gospels were. It just didn't make it into the Council of Trent when they were making such great decisions like how many angels can fit on the head of a pin. They were really very, very intelligent and very, very on track. I'm joking. I'm being satirical. Okay, yeah. But in that Gospel of Thomas, Jesus says something like talking to his disciples, and he says, and I forget how he says it, but he says, the sun and the moon, and the things of the earth, and he says, and you test them. He says, but you do not know how, and he says, not how, he says, you do not test the moment. That's waiting. We don't test the moment. Our faith has to come to a place. That's why I'm doing these videos for the most part. I don't expect that that I could do a how-to on the place where Spirit has led me, because I don't. It'd be like I don't know how I was led here. I was led here. I could see some of the things that came along the way, but I was led here. I don't expect that. But what I want to do is point out part of it. Jesus said, "Know the truth, and the truth will make you free." The most powerful truth that you can know of living in this world is the truth of the lies that you believe are true. That is the powerful one. So that when you start, like when you say, inquire and you go, do I know that this means what I think it means? You think it means something or something this, and you're acting on it. When you look and see that you don't really know the meaning of it, that's a powerful truth. It frees you from being enslaved to following where the meaning tells you have to go. And frustratingly so, because you already have a lot of experience that says when you go where the meaning tells you to go, you don't come into heaven. You come into another place where the shoe drops again. And it just keeps dropping and dropping. You can teach your kids it, and it's going to drop for them as well. So learning how to recognize it, to be aware of what's true and what's not, make that decision that, at some point, in the 12-step groups, they have their way of saying is, their first 3 steps start that way. They say, God, they're talking about addiction, but it's really about everything. Saying, God, I can't do it. The self, I can't do it. Second one, God can, yeah. Third one, I'll let God do it. But it's really interesting. Very few people want to talk about that 3rd step because it's actually even phrased in past tense where you've actually made the decision to let God do it. And I look at that and I go, I'm working on letting go every moment. I can't say that ever came a point where I said, oh, I got that down. I have to keep doing it because I want to keep doing it. And life becomes beautiful when I do. And for you as well. And together, I look forward to us sharing our notes together and our sharing our lives together consciously, because that is the next step, my friends. That is the next step now of evolution and of enlightenment. Is all the parts that are actually one, having done all the field work. And some of us, not special, but some of us who've been gifted that way, come together and we start working on listening to each other and trusting each other to share, to be heard. That is where all this opens wide up. Krishnamurti said if there were 10 people, this is 1983, he said if there were 10 people in the world who really truly knew how to listen, the whole world would change overnight in an instant. It would become enlightened. And his good buddy, David Bohm, great physicist and thinker, said, well, then why hasn't that happened? Krishnamurti said in 1983, he's gone now from the earth. He said, well, from physicality. He said, Bohm said, why hasn't that happened? And he said, there aren't 10 people. There weren't 10 people he'd met or knew of that could actually fully listen, clearly listen. And he didn't even say if he was one. Yeah. That's why I do these videos, because I want to be one. Why? Because my ego needs stroking? No, I don't. I know everything I do with spirits. Sometimes it's pretty darn hard. I just want to be. It's like we need 10 people. I think that I could do that, especially if I had friends who were willing to do that as well, to try. I think we could try together and be conscious enough and caring and vulnerable and humble enough to give each other feedback on how it was working, because it would be a mess for a while. Of course it would. It would take us time to learn how to do that, how to be midwives, not people who are interested in someone's material for what it is. It's all nonsense, or it's all bird singing, but to listen and to really see what it is. It's like the stuff that makes up the lampshade that's covering the light. And let us help, let us be there for each other to take the lampshade off, to give it out, no matter what it is, to express it to someone who will recognize and receive it as the beauty and the wonder that it is, and do so. Yeah. All right. I guess I'm over time, but I didn't want to do another video. Thank you for listening. I'm going to get a couple of these out today. Bye for now.